There's a poem in this place, a poem in America, a poet in every American who rewrites this nation, who tells a story worthy of being told on this minnow of an earth.
A story worthy being told on this minnow of an earth?
That was my favorite line. That was like, she is so in. Okay, that's so cool. She just goes in on all the things happening in America, all the different people saying we are all creating different poems, and then it's like, zoop, big zoom out, the minnow of the earth in the big sea of space. What the heck? Come on!
We're just floating out here.
What? Hello.
Welcome back, friends, to another episode
Of Learn With Us,
where we take content that is worth your time
and we learn from it with you.
with you.
Today,
My name's Eli.
oh, right, and I'm Mitch.
We want to start introducing ourselves because we think it's fun.
Yeah, it's nice when people know our names in the comments rather than going like, oh, guy on the left, guy on the right.
Headband guy.
Headband guy, yeah.
But we do think that's funny, so you can call us
Yeah,
whatever.
call us whatever you want. Yeah.
But those are our names.
So today we are reacting to another Amanda Gorman video. This one is called An American Lyric. And I have not seen it before. I don't know what it's about, but people have said that it's nice.
So we're going to dive right in.
So
It's from 3 years ago, so this will be cool to see where Amanda Gorman came from. Because
Yeah,
I had heard
right?
zero about her.
Where she
until
was
the
at
inauguration
3 years
poem.
ago. All right. Bazinga. Wait, she's 19 approximately in this, just so we all know.
Okay.
My poem is called In This Place, An American Lyric. There's a poem in this place, in the footfalls, in the halls, in the quiet beat of the seats. It is here, at the curtain of day, where America writes a lyric you must whisper to say. There's a poem in this place, in the heavy grace, the lined face of this noble building, collections burned and reborn twice. There's a poem in Boston's Copley Square, where protest chants tear through the air like sheets of rain.
All right, so I like this general idea of saying it's a new day in America and a poem is being written.
Yeah, that's really interesting. That reminds me of two things. One, how she starts in the inauguration poem, starting by putting us all at daytime. Like it's the beginning of a new day in America. So it's like a very similar sort of start. And then interesting also how Joy Harjo is one of my favorite poets. She's the current U.S. Poet Laureate, and she talks, I've seen her in some podcasts, and she talks about the lives that we live just being poems and stories. And so it's like Gorman is like framing all of our lives as just these stories, these poems being written.
And it's interesting because when you think about your life, get a little philosophical here,
Okay.
you know? We got the present moment, you know, you
Yep.
got your experience, but everything else that you have is written word, is just these thoughts and images that you put together of your past, that you form of your future, and you're just chilling in between those poems that are writing in either direction.
So true. And like poetry isn't just a direct one-to-one, this is what happened. This is like poems are just like piecing together all these different elements from your memory and from these conglomerated experiences. Whoa. So like
Went deeper on that.
went deep on that. Like, so poetry is a lot like memory in some ways.
Yes, 100%.
Ooh, I've
especially
never thought of that.
especially when you just have like flashes of images. You
Yeah,
got the colors,
yeah.
you got the emotions.
Because then you'll see that in poetry writing so often. I feel like that's so powerful is when someone just flashes an image at you. Yeah. You can tell that it's like powerful to them. Woo!
So what's happening in America?
What is happening in America?
Well, love of the many swallowed hatred of the few. There's a poem in Charlottesville where tiki torches string a ring of flame tight round the wrist of night, were men so white they gleam blue, seem like statues, will men heap that long wax burning ever higher, will heather higher, blooms forever in a meadow of resistance. There's a poem in the great sleeping giant of Lake Michigan, defiantly raising its big blue head to Milwaukee and Chicago. A poem begun long ago, blazed into frozen soil, strutting upward and aglow. There's a poem in Florida, in East Texas, where streets swell into a nexus of rivers, cows afloat like mottled buoys in the brown, where courage is now so common that 23-year-old Jesus Contreras rescues people from floodwaters.
Reminds me again of her inauguration poem when she goes through the four corners of America.
Yeah, she seems like she has her finger on like the pulse of America. Like she is just like giving you snippets of like things that are actually happening in our country and just giving really slight perspective on it. Like it's not a lot of perspective, it's just enough so that you know that she's watching almost.
Yeah, you know, she's like really observing in like a more than surface level way, you know, like enough to say like in this place where the flooding is happening, courage is becoming so common that 23-year-olds are going out in the flood to save people's lives. It's like just this idea of courage becoming common because of the circumstances you're put into is like just a very in-depth observation.
Yes, you know? Definitely. And I think it's interesting. It almost seems like she's building her ethos here. Like she's like letting you know all the things that she is very aware of so that I feel like it's building to something. Like she's gonna like, this is like, okay, now you know how much I know, so I'm going to tell you from this place of knowing like some sort of truth about America.
Yeah, we're also all on the same page now.
Yes, true.
The groundwork.
I like that.
There's a poem in Los Angeles, yawning wide as the Pacific tide, where a single mother swelters in a windowless classroom, teaching black and brown students in Watts to spell out their thoughts so her daughter might write this poem for you. There's a lyric in California where thousands of students march for blocks, undocumented and unafraid, where my friend Rosa finds the power to bloom in deadlock, her spirit the bedrock of her community.
Okay, she just said two words that were also in the inaugural poem. There was one part in the inaugural poem where she says like, we're going to step into the light like unafraid. She also said unafraid. It's just interesting. She says words in such a specific way that like when she says it, it's like the same way that she said it in the inaugural poem. And she said she was talking about something like blooming as well. And that's like one of the last lines, like the new dawn, like, or the something blooms as like we free it. It's just interesting that like, I just like how poets oftentimes are coming to these same words that they like. You know, like I notice that with myself as well when I'm writing poetry is like I keep coming back to these same words, phrases, and images that are just consistently powerful for me.
Yeah, there's something that sticks with you for, you know, it will like stick with you until you almost like outgrow it or like become something new.
Yeah.
But like you'll keep coming back. And I noticed that too with my thoughts is that I'll have these like repetitive themes in my thoughts.
Yeah.
That like keep seeming to build, and then all of a sudden they come to some sort of crescendo in my life of like the way they're applied. And then after that moment, it's almost as if all that like practice has come to a like a game, and now the game is over. We can move on to the new practice.
That's an interesting way of putting it. All right.
That's some weird stuff.
That's some weird stuff.
Knows hope is like a stubborn ship gripping a dock, a truth that you can't stop a dreamer or knock down a dream. How could this not be her nation, su nation, our country, our America, our American lyric to write to? A poem by the people, the poor, the Protestant, the Muslim, the Jew, the native, the immigrant, the black, the brown, the blind, the brave, the undocumented and undeterred, the woman, the man, the non-binary, the white, the trans, the ally, to all of the above and more.
That that flow came in hot. I was bouncing with every word.
It came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It was just like she does this a lot, I think. Like she's just you're on this rhythm, and then she's like, we're going now. We're gonna go into a cool place. Yeah, strap in. You didn't know you had to strap in, but you had to strap in.
Now you're strapped in. But that you can't stop a dreamer or knock down a dream. How could this not be her city? And then she writes in like, our country, our America, su nación, our American lyric to write. And it's like every single one of the people that she then lists off in that flow, she's like, look, this is our lyric together to write. You know, we are all here right now, the dreamers, the ones in the dream, who are now in the position with the pen in our hand. And it's like that gave me some serious chills when she goes, our American lyric to write. And then she was just flow.
Yeah. It just makes it clear we're all here together, and we can't. It's not like our place to wish others to not be here, or or things to be different. Because she was talking about like the people in Charlottesville, like probably wishing that the country's makeup was different. But this is how it is. This is what America's supposed to be. Is this grouping of so many different kinds of people like she's listing here, and we're all making this poem together.
Yeah, even the undocumented and the underrated, like all of these people that are here, even if papers don't have your name on it.
Yeah,
like you're still here right now, and there's like the fact that we're spending all this time chasing people down when it's like, why aren't we spending time building a country up?
Ooh, that's a bar.
That's a bar.
That's a bar. Zing.
Tyrants fear the poet. Now that we know it, we can't blow it. We owe it to show it, not slow it. Although it hurts to sow it when the world skirts below it. Hope, we must bestow it like a wick in the poet so it can grow lit, bringing with it stories to rewrite. The story of a Texas city depleted but not defeated, a history written that need not be repeated, a nation composed but not completed.
Okay, this is like very interesting to see the way how much this poem mirrors her inauguration poem.
Oh, so much, yeah.
Like a history written that not need be repeated. A nation composed but not yet completed.
Like that is so much mirroring the inaugural poem written 3 years later.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. It's like makes you wonder if just these constant political thoughts are running through her mind at all times.
I mean, it makes me think about the stuff I write, and that I'll definitely always see the same themes, like stringing up, and I'm like, is this like too much of the same thing? But then every single time you write it, it's coming out in different ways, which just brings up different emotions and experiences for the viewers and yourself in the writing process. I thought it was really cool here. Like she was doing just a lot of slam poetry, like rap type rhymes.
Wordplay.
Yeah.
It's so cool how she just dips into it, comes back out. Yeah.
Bestow it, poet, grow it, with it, rewrite. Like.
Yeah. And then how she just like jumps back out. She's like, and then she's telling you a story again.
Yeah.
She's like, she's not doing that at all of a sudden. Like, it's super cool.
Love it.
Yeah.
There's a poem in this place, a poem in America, a poet in every American who rewrites this nation, who tells a story worthy of being told on this minnow of an earth, to breathe hope into a palimpsest of time, a poet in every American who sees that our poem penned doesn't mean our poems end. There's a place where this poem dwells. It is here, it is now, in the yellow song of dawn's bell, where we write an American lyric we are just beginning to tell. Thank you.
What was that ending?
That was nice.
Wow.
A story worthy being told on this minnow of an earth.
That was my favorite line. That was like, she is so in. Okay, that's so cool. She just goes in on all the things happening in America, all the different people saying we are all creating different poems, and then it's like, zoop, big zoom out, the minnow of the earth in the big sea of space. What the heck? Come on!
We're just floating out here.
What? I love it when poets do that. It's like they are like, you are looking so closely at what's happening. You are looking at every little detail, every little like nook and corner of the earth. Not even the earth, just our country. Like all these little things happening, and then it's just like they just like give you whiplash, and they just like send you.
How about the just joy of being able to, with words, defy physics?
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
words you have every single day
Yes.
that you spend speaking. You have this opportunity of play beyond anything that exists. You are literally writing experience into the air.
That is so cool.
And it's like we just have these wands, you know,
Yeah.
that we're writing whatever we want, and she is saying, here is the wand, the pen that is in your hand.
Oh.
You know, who sees that our poem penned doesn't mean our poems end. Something that's written does not, like, history never has a period, never has a full stop.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You got the history books, but that's not history.
Give me some of that.
Some of that.
Give me some of that. That's what this is. That's what this is. We're gonna end it there.
Yeah.
We don't have. We couldn't have better things to say, so we're just gonna end it there.
Shout out to Amanda Gorman. Like, honestly, also wicked cool to hear how her voice has changed.
Yeah.
I know one of my friend's moms is a speech therapist and posted her newest inaugurational poem on her page and was like, look, this is what like my work is every day and how far people come. And I hadn't even heard her voice before this like modern piece, and I would not have thought that she had any sort of speech impediment.
It's
like,
really amazing.
How amazing is that?
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah, thank you, Amanda, for another zinger.
Another zinger. Yeah. Jeez. Well, again, I'm Mitch. This
I'm
is Eli. And much love.
Much love.